everybody. I am Val Jean, and this is My World. How is everybody today? We, we are in flux, and everybody is concerned if we are going to be able to eat, if we're going to be able to just, survive. And so we've got some tips and tricks that hopefully will help everybody get through this madness that we're experiencing. I am trying to get the link to my dear cousin Michelle because she's going to be busy with the babelets, and I would like her to do her part first. She is going to share with us how to do freezer meals and put things away so that we can have something for later. And then I'll come in with my little part of the madness. And there she is. Hello, hello. I sent it to you in a messenger. And poor Crystal doesn't get off until 2:30, so we're going to do what we can do. My hair's been in the wind. Everybody excuse me because I'm running.
Hello, hello.
Hello, darling.
Give me a so that I can hear better.
You
And
can't hear?
I hear you fine. The problem for me is the chat, so I can't drop a link. I think it's called Gardener's Basic or Gardener's Basics is a website that is literally selling a collection of different seed sources that you can purchase all in one bundle. I think it's 32 different types of edible items that are all in this one packet. And I don't recall the price, charge it to my head, not to my heart. But all of that gives you the variety of mix that you may be looking for of items you want to grow to feed your family. And yes, you can do this in 5 gallon buckets. Okay, we just lost our host, but I'm still here for now. So, with that said, that's a resource and it's an amazing resource. Of course, for those of you that have the 5 quarter store, aka Dollar Tree, that might be a place for you to look to purchase seeds as well if you don't want to make the investment in a variety pack. But I would recommend the variety pack because those seed prices add up. The other thing you can do for those of you that have those cash stuffing envelope books, put the seed packets in those books and then put that in your freezer. It keeps your seeds fresh and it won't germinate if you put it in a Ziploc bag. This is how I have kept seeds from year to year to year. I learned it from another lady who did a lot of growing. But the idea of having access to vegetables on a regular basis is going to get scary for many of us. If we're growing our own, then we're less likely to be afraid that those things are available to us. Keep in mind, this is also the perfect time to be looking at the farm and home stores. If you have an Amish community nearby or some other hydroponic place, maybe a university that might be upgrading their equipment, talk to them about what's available and find out if maybe they have growing lights they're not going to be using because they've upgraded. Maybe they're going from the traditional bulb to the LED bulb and they just don't want that lamp anymore. Check with some of the high schools. If you have schools in your area that are closing, that's another great resource. Use your Facebook tools and other resources that you have available to find places where you can barter or exchange or buy things at a discounted rate. Go to places that sell fish. They're going to have grow lamps for reptiles. Those will make a great substitute for warming. And the reason I'm telling you about those now and the reason you want to get them now is because eventually the weather may change on you and you'll need to bring those plants indoors. You're still going to want to grow your vegetables, so you need lights that are going to mimic that sunlight that we normally see. Excuse me. Sir.
Also, check
Yeah.
with your county library. Sometimes they have little organizations who give classes. And if you are checking with your county library, the classes are geared to your planting zone, because
Yes.
all across the United States, you've got different zones, and what is working for one person may not work for you. So you have to be mindful of where you are. Also, Dollar Tree has seeds, and I picked up. I went to Dollar Tree today, and I picked up. These are four for a dollar. I got zucchini, garden beans, carrots, and even if you don't like carrots, plant the carrots, because the carrot tops grow up real big and pretty, and they look like ferns. And squash. Now, people tell me that you can eat the flowers of the zucchini and squash. I have never tried it. But
It's an interesting taste. If you don't
the
like, I forget what it is. What's the one that causes us to think of soap? You know what I'm talking about. It's the green cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you won't like the tops because they remind you of that same flavor.
they also have some seeds that are two for a dollar, and they are under the little organic section. I've got bib lettuce. They
Ooh.
also had iceberg lettuce, but we know that's mostly water. And I got a green salad bowl. So I spent a dollar and a quarter and a dollar and a quarter for 6 packs of seeds. They also have,
As you can hear, my sound has turned in stereo. I apologize.
thank
I'm
you.
here. I'm just gonna give him a minute to calm down.
Okay. Okay. I use my food scraps to grow my veggies indoors. Yes, ma'am. Then I will plant them outside when ready. Excellent, excellent. Now, for those who are in apartments and they don't have the outdoors, I have been saving my protein jugs. I'm going to put holes in the bottom and stand them on the lids, and that's what I'm going to be planting in the indoors, because our weather is so funky. Even when it's summertime and I put them outdoors, we may get hail and it breaks down my plants. Also, you can grow tomatoes indoors. You can go to Walmart and get the rattan sticks, put them in your pot, and train your tomatoes up up the rattan sticks. And they a lot of times are on sale, two for a dollar, three for a dollar. Thank you, Zoila. Yes, that's you. Yes, girl. We have to have our veggies now. In order, so this is what I'm growing in. We have the scaredy cat gardener has where's my little thing? Okay, hold on. Let me back up here for a minute. She did a whole um video the other day on the, the containers for gardening that I would like to share with you. And I got a lot of show and tells today. And I hope this helps everybody. So let me get to the section where she's talking about containers. I apologize for not already having this queued up, but I was having trouble finding all of the things that I had looked at previously, because, of course, I didn't write it down.
And I'm back by myself. That's weird.
Feed them with blueberry fertilizer, and they'll be okay in the long run.
Hold on, I'm trying to
And here
get
are
Pam up
my
here.
tomato plants, as well as regular basil. Look at that
And he's
basil. Isn't it beautiful? This is a cherry tomato plant. Let's put it inside the cage. This is a one of my cherry tomato plants. I have two cherry tomato plants. This is another one. Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? Containers. I don't have anything in ground. Everything that I'm growing is in a container. This right here is my golden raspberry bush that you all probably saw me plant just a little bit ago. And look at it. It is growing and growing and growing already. Growing already. This is an everbearing plant, so I may get a small harvest this year. We'll see. And this may not produce for a year or even two, but this is the one I'm really waiting on. It is my pink lemonade blueberry bush. Isn't that amazing? Look how beautiful it looks in the rain. So nice, so gentle. I will be staking both of these.
so she's growing blueberries in a container. I'm going to put the link for this in the chat. Uh, please go back and watch the whole video because she has great successes with her gardening, and that is the Scaredy Cat Gardener, who is also cooking at Pam's place. Is that
You're
you or is that me?
That's me. I have a video on to help them kind of not focus on the fact that Miss Michelle is not talking to them.
Also, you can save your wait a minute. I want this one. You can save your salad containers to start your seedlings in, and you can put the top on it, give them that moisture that they need to get started. Or if you have, and when they start, when you start getting to the point where you want to water them, you can take the top off, put holes in the bottom of this, and you can stand it right on there. And
Perfect.
I know several of our family members are in wheelchairs. There is a whole um, there's a whole community of gardeners who are gardening from the wheelchairs. Some are doing them from in from um, from indoors, and some have them outdoors.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, let me pause that. This is what I wanted to show you. Okay. This is what I wanted to show you. You don't always have to spend a lot of money for your containers. Look at what she did. She cut a milk jug. She's using a juice jug, and she is growing in them. She has trays in plastic bags. So you can use what you have. Go back. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on containers. Also, they have, where's Michelle? Norina, yes, recycle and reuse. Yes.
Yes.
Zoila says, sorry, what kind of soil? You can use potting soil. You can use you can mix it with a little vermiculite. I know there is a potting soil that says for fruits and vegetables, which I guess is different from the other one. Michelle says she puts eggshells in hers.
No, I put an entire egg, not just the shells. I put the whole egg.
I put the shells in a coffee can and add water. Put the top on it, let it sit for a week, and I use that water to water my plants with. Mind you, it does smell, but it makes your plants beautiful. There are some freezer containers. Shorty gets medication. One of her medication comes by mail, and it has several freezer packs in it. But those freezer packs, you have to check the ones you have. Not all of them can do this. But these freezer packs, once they thaw out, you can snip them and use that inner portion for fertilizer. And then just, rinse out the pack and put it in your recycle. The outside is recyclable, the inside is fertilizer for your plants.
That
Uh,
is a great idea. I love that.
Garcia says some
Yes.
Dollar Tree stores will have trellis for your tomatoes, or you can use an old broomstick or old mop handle. Good idea. Good
Very
idea.
true. Very true.
And the other thing for my friends who have tight places and who are in wheelchairs, you can get a card table. Use the little containers that we've shown so far, put them on a card table so that you can get to them. And card tables are not that really, really big, even if you're in an apartment. Put it in front of a window so that your plants get light, and just make sure you have enough room that you can wheel around and tend to your plants. Okay, Darcia. Narina says, speaking of, do you ever use egg cartons as starter containers? I did it. I did once. I didn't have really good success with it. I didn't, and it's probably just me because with it being so shallow, I probably didn't give it enough little water while they needed it. My plants almost have to fend for themselves. I'm just, yeah, I'm that gardener. Yep, I use egg water. It has my cousin said it has sulfur in it. I'm not sure what it has in it, but my mother used to always water her house plants with egg water. And then when the egg shells start getting real soft and old, I use them in the bottom of my pots instead of rocks.
Ah,
And I also saw a tip, and let me tell you this now because I'm not going to remember it. Those solo plastic cups, take 2 cups, you put holes in the bottom of one, and you plant your plant in that. You put rocks in the bottom of the other one, and you put the plant inside the other one. And so you don't have a mess in the house.
that is perfect. That is perfect. I am missing all the chat, of course, because I can't find my phone again. It ran away. It's not my fault. It ran away.
You can't find your phone?
Yeah, it disappeared again. Don't call me. It won't help. I'm talking to you, so it won't ring. My phone is moody. That's
Yeah,
okay.
eggshells are great. They really are. They really
And
are great.
the other thing you can do with eggshells is, as you collect them, you can always put them in the oven and bake them, and then put them in your blender once they cool. And you can sprinkle those on top, and the same nutrients that you would get from the water, you can get directly from the eggshells. Plus, the animals outside don't want to walk on that because it's hard for their feet, so they don't like it. I'm
Why
being
bake
real.
them?
You bake them because it For some reason, it makes the makeup of the eggshells easier to break down in your blender. You want it to be a
Okay.
smooth like powder, but it still has those jagged edges for little paws that touch it. And yet it
So
seems
that
to
would
break
help
down well
you.
in the soil.
Okay. Okay.
Good job.
Also, I have used, I like a stuffed crab. I have used the crab shells as ornamentation around my flower beds outside.
And for those of us who forget to water our plants,
Right, Norina, right.
self-watering pots,
Mm,
yes. The other way you can do it is take a water bottle. I don't have one close by because I drink out of my cup. But you take a water bottle and you pop holes in the top, fill it up full of water, and invert it into the plant, and it's going to water, and the water will slowly drain out of the bottle. It won't go quickly because it can't flow because of the soil. The other thing, the same concept with your eggs, is put some of the eggshells in that water and let it go that way. You can add
okay.
more water till the eggshells are gone. I mean, you've paid
Yeah,
for the eggs. You may as well keep the shells.
right, right. So now, if Timu and several other places have come up with these little machines that you're supposed to be able to put your food scrap and whatnot in and push a button, and in 2 hours it makes compost. I have a backyard with a compost bin, and I just put my food scraps and leaf clippings and everything in there. And periodically, I go out with my pitchfork and turn it over. And then I open up the slot and go in with my little shovel and pull out my compost.
Ah,
Norina says
found my
what makes
phone in the
it
chat.
nice and brittle and easy to chop up. Okay, thank you. Oh, it's got calcium.
Calcium.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
The other thing we were going to talk about today, because I am going to have to pop out of here in a second, is freezer meals. And what I love about freezer meals is this is something you just dump all the ingredients in.
Waterfall?
Oh no!
Why are you crawling over your laptop and desk? Pebbles, sit down.
It's she's running from the bunnies. I'm sorry. Pebbles,
Okay,
please be
Michelle's going to
safe.
tell us about freezer meals so she can go tend to the little misters.
Yes. One of the things I have done for decades now is I like to do batch cooking. I will prep all of my meals, well, as many of them as I can, and I buy meat in seasonal bulk. So in January, oftentimes, I don't know what it looks like now because I don't do this as much as I used to. You can buy bulk items, bulk chicken or bulk beef or bulk pork, depending on what's on sale. Follow your seasonal cycles for purchasing your bulk meat items. And then you prep the meat. Some of your chicken, you may just want to do drumsticks or just wings if that's something your family enjoys. Maybe you're not a real big fan of chicken thighs in a meal as a standalone, but it's a great accompaniment to a soup. So you prep your soup by, if you're going to do it in a deep freezer or a freezer meal container idea, you do your vegetables, your celery, your onion, and all of the things that you want to see in your soup. You chop all those things up, throw them in your freezer Ziploc bag along with your chicken. Add your seasonings, your spices, your bouillon cubes, or whatever else you add to create your flavoring. And you add in your broth. Close it tight, mark the bag with the instructions of how to prepare it because you're going to see that bag in 6 months and not remember what you thought you were supposed to do with that. So write everything down on your freezer bag. Stack them neatly in your deep freezer. And then when you're ready to prepare that meal, pop it in your instant pot or pop it into your slow cooker, whatever conveyance you use to cook that meal, and allow it to cook as you normally would if you were preparing it fresh. By having ready-made meals, you get to take advantage of sales. You get to take advantage of a bulk purchase where you can get a discounted rate on the food that you're buying. And if you set aside, I usually set aside a day where I will prepare literally 20 different meals and line them up. They have those little, they're like V's. I don't have any available right now because I think we've put them away. They're little stands that you attach your Ziploc bags to, and then you just put the things in. You know that you're supposed to have 4 drumsticks in order to do your, let's say, barbecue chicken. And you have to forgive me. I'm watching this boy throw this cup and then pick it up. It's driving me batty. But you prepare your meal and you put it in the deep freezer. That, like I said, it helps you take advantage of sales. It helps you prepare for what we know it may not be available in 6 months, or it may be 3 times the price. Think about it. If we could have prepared eggs in October compared to what we're paying now, what a difference that might look like. The other thing is, I have a Facebook page that is dedicated to freezer meals, teaching you how to do freezer meal recipes, how to bulk freezer meal prep, things like biscuits, homemade from scratch biscuits. No, you're not cooking in them and then freezing them. You're literally preparing the dough as though you were going to stick it in the oven, putting it on a cookie sheet or a baking sheet, and flash freezing it, meaning you're putting it in the freezer to get it hard and cold and then throwing it in a freezer bag and tossing it in your deep freezer. So there is that. And the name of the group, and I have to look on my phone because I don't update this page. So don't go there thinking we're going to have a social engagement. We're not. I never check it anymore. But I will tell you this, that group has over 9,000 page members. So there is that. And bear with me, it takes a minute sometimes to find things on the social medias. And I hear you, VJ, but I don't see you.
Oh, that's because I'm down here listening to you and trying to give Pebbles some moral support here.
Yes, I am
And
feeling for Pebbles. The name
and
of the group is Michelle's Freezer Meal Crew. And the word crew is in a lowercase c. I don't know what I was thinking. The picture is a picture of batch chili, I think, or maybe it's batch pasta sauce. I don't remember.
is it
I don't,
meals with an S or singular?
freezer meal, meal.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
wait a minute. Sir, stop. You are making a mess. That's unhealthy. Here, let me type it in the chat.
I just put the name in.
Yeah, you got it. Perfect. Thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I don't pay attention.
Okay. And Michelle was laughing at me because I do that too. We were on the phone and I was shopping in the freezer and I found greens and squash and fried cabbage that I had
Yes.
forgotten were in there, and so I made a whole meal just out of the freezer, shopping while we were on the phone.
And that's the well, it was the beauty. Now it isn't so much the beauty for me because my kids will come in at 8 o'clock in the morning on their way out the door and be like, "Oh, I want lemon chicken for dinner." Well, mom doesn't eat chicken, so I'm not going to be preparing it. But they can take a freezer meal out, pop it in the instant pot, and then when they come in from their activities, especially in the summertime, they've got a ready-made meal. They'll boil some noodles to go with it and they're good to go. And then I'm the one who needs to figure out what she's going to eat. But at least I don't have to worry about them. The other great thing about it, my daughter does this a lot of times. She'll grab a ready made meal and start it for me. And then at 12 o'clock, when it's time for me to feed the kids, lunch is already done. And then she can come in from work, grab what she needs to eat, and go on. If I have an interview that night, I'm not worried about having to stop and eat. The meal is already ready. That's the
Right.
beauty of having batch meals. Connect with that page and get started. Like I said, review some of the recipes that are listed on that page. There is a lot of information there. And if you leave me a message, yes, I will reply. It will take me forever because I won't see it right away, but I will reply. I'm just being honest. I'm
Would you
being
prefer that they
honest.
leave you a message in Messenger?
Yes, yes. And even then, be aware that I may not see it right away because message requests aren't always people I know. So I tend to ignore them. And then, of course, that is also the resource that a lot of parents use when they're looking for childcare with me. And if I'm not interested, I just don't answer. I'm just being honest. Well, some people aren't they don't listen when you tell them you don't do part-time and they decide that they're going to make you do part-time because that's what they want. No, I'm too old
Right.
for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too old.
I hear
So
you.
I am going to hop off because I have a puddle of water to clean up and
Oh
we
no.
have snacks to get to. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to
Thank
me
you so very
meander
much,
and
Michelle.
ramble.
I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, guys. I'll talk to you all later. I'll be in the chat, but I got to get to
Thank
work.
you.
Of course.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Okay. Norina, this is for you. The first part of the clip that I had shown earlier also addresses the issue you were just referring to.
I took a brand new compost bucket. I had just started with some kitchen scraps, and I added these clippings to it, turned it, and then I also added to that the compost bucket that I started to begin with. I needed to turn it. I had not turned it after I put food in it. I was afraid of what I was going to find when I lifted the lid, and there were, in fact, no maggots. That made me excited. So then I took some of this and I put over here in this and turned it.
So there you go, Norina. No bears. So that's something. Oh, did I not share the link? Oh, Lord Jesus. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Repeat. Okay, she's got these big
I
posts.
took a brand new compost bucket. I had just started with some kitchen scraps, and I added these clippings to it, turned it, and then I also added to that the compost bucket that I started to begin with. I needed to turn it. I had not turned it after I put food in it. I was afraid of what I was going to find when I lifted the lid, and there were, in fact, no maggots. That made me excited. So then I took some of this and I put over here in this and turned it. Okay, on the far side of the porch, I
Okay,
rearranged some
Norina. So
things
there you go. That might help
and
you with yours. And I got a big trash can size compost bin from Amazon. And that's what I put my kitchen scraps and leaf clippings and everything in. Yes, and make sure you date your packages exactly. And when you put things in, try to rotate. Hi, Michael Love. How you doing? Michelle says exactly. Document. Most freezer bags have a space for date and name of meal. Yes, and you can insert when you zip the bag, put a straw in one corner and suck all of the air out before you seal that last corner, and your food will stay fresher longer. Then we have, let me see, I showed that one. Michelle's over there laughing at me. Oh, I saw this, I liked this, and yes, I am in the process of trying this. This is a concept that I never thought was a thing, but I have seen it on a couple of other videos. So I figured it was worth a try. So I'm in the process of trying it. I'll let you know how it works out. But this is some interesting stuff. That's all I can say. I'm gonna let you judge for yourself.
Hold up. I dropped my box on the patio and grabbed some leaves that I saved from last fall. I added a couple of handfuls of leaves at the bottom of the box to help retain moisture. Then I shoveled in about 4 or 5 inches of soil on top of the leaves and leveled it out with my hands. I used some of my own homemade soil that I make. This is my favorite stuff to grow in. Next, I peeled off some tape from the top flaps so I can fold them in later, and grabbed my bag of potatoes. I planted the dark red Norland ones. You can see these are some nice, healthy looking seed potatoes. I got these ones from Fedco. The first box I'm planting in is 12 inches wide and 22 inches long. The first potato I laid down at 6 inches. I like to plant my potatoes about 6 inches apart. The next one I laid down at about 12 inches, and the one after that at almost 18 inches, and lightly pressed the potatoes into the soil. Then I started covering my potatoes with the homemade soil that I use and leveled it out with my hands. After this, I noticed I needed to add a bit more soil. I want my potatoes to be covered with about 4 or 5 inches of soil. Next, I grabbed some fertilizer. I'm using the Turbo Tuber fertilizer. I get this from Fedco as well, and it's formulated specifically for growing potatoes. I spread some fertilizer evenly over the soil and mixed it into the top few inches of the soil. When I water, it will fertilize the potatoes as they grow. At this point, I realized I forgot to tuck the flaps in, so I went back, pulled the soil off the edges, and tucked in all the flaps. This will add a bit of extra strength to the box and help it last all season. Then watered in my potatoes so they would start sprouting and growing. If you want to grow potatoes in boxes, I suggest you use boxes that are at least 10 inches tall. This box was 12 inches tall. Ideally, you want a gap of at least 4 inches or so at the top. This way you can hill the potatoes as they grow. I grabbed an even smaller box to plant in, dropped it on the patio, lined it with leaves, added some soil, and grabbed my potatoes. This box is only 16 inches long and is perfect for 2 potato plants. This time I remembered to tuck the flaps in and followed the same process as the previous box. 13 days after planting, the potato leaves pushed out of the soil. The bigger box of red potatoes was looking great and starting to soak up the sun. And the little box with white potatoes.
Now he will take you all the way through the growing process of these potatoes. And at the end of the experiment, he had potatoes. I was impressed. Now, if you want to do this in the house, I recommend that you put that cardboard box on a plastic garbage bag and be careful how you water, because you don't want water running all across your floor. But they have people out there that are growing all kinds of things in Amazon boxes. One of his videos, he had potatoes, garlic, ginger, and onions in the same box. And as he harvested the potatoes, he moved the other vegetables over a little bit more so they could spread out. Let's see. Crystal, welcome in. Keep in mind with potatoes, you don't want to potato itself to get any sun. Okay, thank you, Crystal. Welcome in, Crystal. Michelle says, for those of you interested in purchasing from Temu, you can search by local warehouse for anything you want to purchase. If you buy from the local warehouse, you don't have to worry about it coming over from China, so you don't have to worry about the tariffs. This man has a lot of interesting videos on his channel, so go give him a look-see as well. Or put the box on a shoe drying rack. And you can take those 3-tiered shoe racks and you can stagger your pots on that rack in front of your patio door if you have a patio door, and then all of your pots can get sunlight, and it takes up a smaller bit of space. The other thing that takes up a smaller bit of space, and I did not put it in my tab, it is the vertical, the over-the-door shoe racks, and you can plant your plants in those as well. I would suggest that you do herbs in those, because unless you find one that is 6 or 8 inches deep, I don't know that it's deep enough to put regular food in, your spinach, your kale, and whatnot. A lot of places are really getting into the Gardein and the hydroponic one. But we have this, where did he go? I just saw him. This gentleman, hold on, pause. I got to get you over here. Don't talk yet. This man will show you how to grow hydroponics in a mason jar. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So people are coming out with different things so that we can get by.
It's the Kratky method. Start with a largemouth canning jar, 3-inch diameter net pot, hydroponic clay pellets, some nutrients, and your seeds. Put some clay pellets in it, and you put it in to within a 1/2 inch of the top. Get the pellets wet. You want it to be at the level of the clay pellets. 5 and 10 seeds. And I'm going to spread it around and do the same thing here. My dark sock, for the first 2 to 4 weeks, you don't actually have to add any water. And the plants will have roots grow down and follow the water. When you add water after that 3 to 4 week period, you never add it above the bottom of the net pot. See, I'm adding water right through the clay pellets. I stop right there. Plants get their oxygen through this portion. You don't need any pumps or motors. They get their oxygen right here and they grow well, and you're going to be eating lettuce or herbs in 3 to 4 weeks.
Now,
passive hydroponics.
So we can do this. We can do this. We can eat. We just have to go to our dear darling friend, YouTube University, and we can do this. It's 2:50. Does anybody have any questions? Is there anything anybody would like to see? Yes, thank you. This Norina, we are getting ready for, yes, Lord. Especially since, for those coming in late, Michelle reminded me, I did not remember because I wasn't gardening at the time. During the last administration, you could not buy vegetable seeds. So now is the time to start looking for seeds. If you can't go to the store, you can shop online. Gurney is a good online store. Burpees is a good online store. Like I said, check with your county library, see if they have a program. The program in my area has monthly workshops, and they are selling the seeds, the slips, the potatoes, the whatnot. And for potatoes, it wasn't on the reel we showed because I had to close all my other windows because I kept freezing. You take a potato, put it in a brown paper bag, close up the bag, and let it sit for a while. It will grow the slips for you to plant. So you don't have to go to the company the gentleman showed to buy your potato slips. You can make your own potato slips. Norina says, well, Norina's in the thing here. We ship statewide all the time and 0 tariffs. Are you all still shipping to us? Because, girl, Michelle says, for now, trust nothing at this point. Norina says, yeah, I'm sorry, Michelle, but we want to go there today. We want, yeah, but for now, that's when the rules. We'll see, come back on Tuesday, Norina, and we'll be able to go there. Because I have to gather the stuff that's happened over the weekend, and we get to talk about it on Tuesday. Michelle says, keep in mind the home stores that sell plants will do so at a steep discount when the plant is nearly done. And places like Home Depot, start watching the plant. When the plant starts getting root bound and they don't want to transplant the plant, they will mark it down. So you can go in and buy the plant at a discounted price just because they don't want to transplant it. And if it gets too root bound, it will die. Crystal says, don't forget, in small spaces, you can always go vertical. We crochet a hanger. Yep, you can do hanging pots. You can do the vertical door racks. What do you call it? Overhead door shoe rack. Like this. I just put in over the door shoe rack garden. And I make this, no, I can't make that bigger. Let me see. So we have the DIY hanging herb garden. This is the vertical hanging garden. And mostly they seem to have herbs. This gentleman has flowers in his. But you need to check. You need 6 to 8 inches to get good rootstock if you want to grow vegetables. So you have to make sure of the depth of these if you want to go over the door. And this one has shoe storage salad garden. So they've put lettuce and whatnot in theirs. So it's doable. And they had one where people had like these not these totes, but these slide-in totes, and they had taken those and planted their garden in them. So you don't have to go big and heavy and hard, just 6 to 8 inches, and you can stick a garden anywhere. And see, they have theirs outside. And as Darcia says, she cuts the tops off her vegetables and she replants them. And they have YouTube videos on how to do that as well. I have regrown lettuce. Ola Jo says she slices a tomato and plants that slice and grows her tomato plants from there. I have taken the seeds out of my peppers and I have planted them and grown pepper plants. Michelle says, check any local co-op groups too. Yes. Norina says, absolutely. It needs to be over 800 for us to charge tariffs. Yay. Yay. I had to look up potato slips. I know. He was holding them in his hand and he says, I bought these potato slips. So that's why I was like, oh, that's what you call them? Yes, and don't forget Mona, right? And she's Georgia Peach Nut. Yes. Don't forget Mona. Don't forget Garden State Gardener. And there is one channel on here that is by the Amish, if you want to do more organic gardening. Michelle says, Ann Lowe's and Menards. Yes. Or your local nursery. My hooks and my hubby's harness are nowhere near that price. So y'all are good. Great. Thank you. Michelle says Dollar Tree has fabric over the door shoe racks. Do they now? Darcia says, don't forget your feed store. I don't have a feed store, but that's a good idea. Now watch Michelle tell me that I do have a feed store. Norina says, just to be safe, my customers are now my cousins, and I am sending a birthday gift. Makes it easier. There you go. That is all. That's one way to get around it, Norina. It really is. Crystal says, I buy most of my plants from TSC. They have good sales. I don't think there's a TSC in Missouri. Norina says, wow, that's such a smart idea. Go through the YT. They have got things that are just, and I sit back and go, oh, really? I'm going to try that. I do that with celery and green onion. Yes. So many great suggestions. Thanks, everyone. You are so welcome. I have cut the top off of carrots and planted them in my pot outside. And that's how I knew that the carrot tops make real pretty ferns. And people would walk by and ask me about them. Crystal says store-bought corn will not grow if you plan on doing that. Buy from a farmer's market. Yes, I bought some ginger from the grocery store, and I have been trying to get it to sprout for the last month. I scrubbed it down, hoping that I could scrub the inhibitor off of it. It's not sprouting. Some community garden groups will share food for work. And if you have a community garden, if you are able to get out, that is very handy. But for those who aren't able to get out, remember, card table, plastic containers, protein containers. These little things are good to start them in. If you're doing herbs, these little things are good for herbs. But to grow the plant, you need 6 to 8 inches for the roots. Everybody says get a 5-gallon bucket. You don't necessarily need a 5-gallon bucket. 6 to 8 inches, you're good. You're good. Crystal says, I call them the eye of the potato. That's what my mother used to call them. That's why I had to look at him when he said potato slips. Thank you for the Garden State Gardener, Zoila. Thank you so much. And don't forget the Scaredy Cat Gardener. Norina says, I didn't think you could just stick a slice of tomato in the dirt and call it a day. I didn't either. It did not work for me. Ola Jo says that's how she does her tomatoes. Michelle says yes. Okay, hatchery. See, I told you she would tell me we had one. It's a feed store, and I don't live in Kirkwood. How was I supposed to know? She's got all the stuff down south with her. I don't have any of that up here. Norina says, oh, hell yeah, I'm not playing with this tariff stuff. See? And then she says she thinks there's one in Alton. You're going to make me cross the bridge. You know what happens when I cross the bridge. I'll have to go out there Sunday morning. I'll be back in time for my live on Monday. Michelle says, go to farmer's market at the end of the day. They will majorly discount items to avoid taking them back. That is true. How is your avocado plant? The one I had last year died. I haven't started one this year yet. Nessa, currently working and can't stay. Well, thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. Soila, thank you so very much. There is our Scaredy Cat Gardener. Crystal says, as a child, I helped tend a 5-acre garden. It's easy. It is labor intensive. It is. It was labor intensive. Yeah, that's why we're doing container gardening. My late husband sold my rototiller, and I'm not buying another one. So I'm going to do it in containers. I'll drive to you. You'll drive me so I can get back. You tough crowd. That is a tough crowd. By the way, if you folks don't know, Tractor Supply Store, which is one of my local feed stores, is anti. Yeah, as is John Deere and somebody else. They are following the new presidential mandates. If you are so inclined, you can go to Michelle. What's the website? Why he got to do? No, I'm not interested because he just pisses me off. Good Unite Us. The Good Unite Us app, and you can see who donated to the causes that you care about, or who donated to a party who is working against your values. And you don't have to shop there unless you have no other choice, or unless you choose to. It's up to you. But Good Unite Us, I have been using. Yes, ma'am. And the what is the website? Hold on, my daughter sent it to me the other day. Un momento, por favor. Because I can't ever remember what the website is, because I use the app. But the website is something different. Oh, she put so much stuff in my feed, I can't even find it. I will put it in the show notes because I cannot find it. But there's a website that tells you who donated to what, and I'll put in the I'll do all that for Tuesday. I'll find it. I'll do all that for Tuesday because yeah, I have to update. I'll do it for Tuesday. We'll talk about that on Tuesday. We'll talk about that on Tuesday because we have to stand up for ourselves because nobody is going to stand up for us. Norina says, glad I don't have one of those, but Canada is a different ballpark right now. Look, you still united. Yeah, that's the app. Nessa, are you sure they had an ad with a gay couple? Did they change? Girls, see. Yours is getting taller. Did you peel the outer coating off of it? Yeah, it is. Melanie was mentioning that they abuse their animals too. Small chicks too. Oh my gracious. It's so many companies gave it. Yeah. They drank the Kool-Aid. They drank the Kool-Aid. And it is so sad. Thank you, Zoila. Crystal, Michelle and I are in the same position as you because we live in a blue city in a red state. So we're doing what we can, but we're climbing uphill. We really are. Crystal says, I think all oil companies that go to the Heritage Foundation should have a warning on the outside of the store. Girl. Editor's note, in late June, the Tractor Supply Company announced that it was eliminating the corporations. Yep, they all did that. And there was Greenpeace was suing an oil company that was doing something, and the judges overturned the judges ruled against Greenpeace. Yep, they drank the Kool-Aid. So if you live by any factory, wear a mask, boil your water, because they don't care about us. Right now, it is survival of the fittest. They took us out of the WHO. They won't let the FDA and the CDC interact with the people anymore. RFK Jr. is I can't even get into his madness. And they have closed the EPA. So everybody who was regulating things and fighting for us have been shut down. So this is survival of the fittest. If you are healthy enough and well enough to survive this, you can stay here. If not, so sorry. So we have to fend for ourselves right now. Arena says, that's got to be hard. Why can't it all be purple, friendly, and happy? Because the people, our higher ups aren't happy. I hate that about TSC. They used to be my favorite store. Yeah, they drank the Kool-Aid. I haven't stepped back in one since I heard that. Yeah, they never cared about us. Now they're just able to publicly do it. Exactly. Now they're able to publicly do it. And you can't say anything about it because we no longer have any rights. We have no protection. I see it all from here, VJ. I just don't understand it. They believed the showman over the politician, and our closeted bigots would rather vote for the Caucasian man than the mixed race woman, because they're not going to take orders from a woman. And if you're mixed race, you can forget about it. So they cook their own goose. They have put the nails in their own coffins. And the only one who, if you were here not this past Tuesday, but the Tuesday before, we talked about, we had found the fraud, greed, and waste, and yeah, because it was a week before, Mr. Trump had spent $18.2 million going to Florida every weekend to play golf. He also went to Florida this past weekend. So you can take the breakdown that I showed on that live and add that money to 18.2 million, and you can see how much money he has spent just playing golf. And this past weekend, they were showcasing these purses that were $447,000, and we can't buy eggs. And he said, I don't want to hear about egg prices. He's not missing any eggs. The greedy want more money. He was in pain, though. He was injured serving our country. So I can give him that, because when you have a back injury, that's painful. I can give him that, Zoila. I can give him that. I really can. Crystal says, I work in a factory. The only thing that might be my saving grace is we are union, and I'm willing to go old school redneck, the old coal miner, darn coal miner. When she was more qualified. See, but he talked a good game. He was loud. He was a liar. Everybody fact checked him, proved he was a liar, and he kept lying, and he is still saying the same old lies. And nobody's doing anything about it. Because if they do something about it, then Elon Musk is going to primary them. And they don't understand. They need to be more afraid of us than they are of Elon. So this is our job. Oh, and it's working. Because if you've noticed, all of the recent tabs on YouTube have been of Elon crying because everybody hates him. He's feeling it. And Tesla has asked him to step down as CEO because they're losing money. It's working. It is working. We just have to keep up the good fight because it is working. Check online, check your app, check whatever you want to check. If they, I'm sorry, if they donated to Trump or if they donated to the inauguration, I don't shop there unless I can't find it anywhere else. If they rolled back their DEI, I do my best not to shop there. The people who were in favor of them rolling back our civil rights, the people who are dismantling, who are trying to wipe the African Americans out of history because they're embarrassed of what their ancestors did. You might be able to tear that page out of the book, but you can't erase how we got here. You can't erase that we fought a war over it. You can ban all the books you want to ban, but I am not the color of my hair. So where did I get my light colored skin? We know where I got it from. Hopefully, the next administration will be all Democrat and we can reverse all of his executive orders and get back on track. Then we have to look at the Democrats who vote against our best interests, and then we get them out as well. Americans have to start speaking with their votes. Get these people out of office, cut them off at the knees. If they're not representing the people, they don't need to be in DC. Point blank. Yes, exactly. And then they want you to have all these babies and they're cutting the Medicare, the Medicaid, the Social Security, Head Start, and the jobs. How are you supposed to support these babies they want you to have? Yeah, my aunt was telling me to be careful who I talk to. We don't know if people will start ratting out, right? And they're getting paid to. I know they did in Cuba during Castro's regime and other Latin American countries. And in Miami, they have taken off one of the radio stations that also broadcast in Cuba. They've taken them off the air. What happened to freedom of speech? What happened to freedom of the press? The only people who have freedom to speak are the people who echo what's being said by the administration, but anybody who speaks against them, watch your back. I'm in trouble. Old, disabled. They don't see me either. That's why, Pebbles, get you a card table, get you some plastic containers, get you some seeds, start growing your food. We have to learn to be self-sufficient. I think there's a wheelchair prepper on here too, Pebbles. 50 million between the daytime. See. And he goes down to Mar-a-Lago every week, and they spent $250 million to get him in the White House, and the only one sleeping in the White House is Musk. Well, that's true too. That's true too. Yeah, I don't talk about politics on my channel, but I also don't shop at Hobby Lobby or show their urine crystal. Sadly, they want to get rid of unions too. No, that's why we have this separate channel for politics. We have a political channel and we have a crafty pant channel. I call him the orange guy, and the other one, the pathetic, the plastic guy. Really, it's not about the eggs. No, it's not about the eggs. And not to be offensive to anybody, but the true thing is making America white again. They everybody with brown skin, they're shipping them out of the country, and they were always talking about the Mexicans were taking the black jobs. The Mexicans were working in the fields, so they want the blacks to go back to the fields. I don't think so. No. See, see, see. It's sad. It's really sad. I found 2 free patterns. Slam it down. Oh, and the other one's a cactus. Did you really? Tesla is not allowed at the Vancouver. Really? And they got told yesterday they are not welcome. Oh my gosh. And they've got a 100% tariff too, don't they? Yeah, I'm not going back to any. The only field I'm going to is in this plastic container for me. That's the only field I'm going to. The orange man should be wearing an orange suit. That's why they spent so much money to get into office, because both of them were slated to go to jail. And this was the way that they figured out how to stay out of jail. That's what this was about. The idea is remove the old. No, this is the old playbook. This is the old playbook. In Ravelry, if anybody wants link to it, I can provide them. Sure. Why not? Put it on the other. Well, yeah, put it here. Or what's it called? Do you have a blue dress? Oh, Zoila can do it. Please, Zoila. They want people to be too busy working and stressed out and not worried about what is really going on. Exactly. Exactly. And so many people are giving birth to kids with disabilities and they refuse to help care for these kids. They had a lady in Oklahoma the other day who was pregnant, and she had an ultrasound, and all of the baby's organs were outside of the body. So it was not viable. And she had to go to, it wasn't Texas because she couldn't get help in Texas, Nebraska maybe, to terminate the pregnancy. The baby wasn't going to live. And she had to go to another state to get help. This is crazy. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. I live in an area with a lot of Hispanic people. Would it be wrong of me to keep a red card or no? What do you mean a red card? You don't look Hispanic. And you don't speak with an accent. You would be safe. It's the brown skinned people and the Native Americans that are having issues. You're safe. Now in the summertime, if you get real tan, you might want to carry a card then. Ask your neighbors to save their plastic milk jugs if you don't get the big ones. Yes. And if you have a CPAP machine and you have to buy the distilled water, keep those jugs. My friend mentioned, anyone notice how Musk carries his kid on his shoulders, protecting his head? Yeah, they had a long talk about that. They did. OMG, they're saying that everyone should be raising their own chickens so you get free eggs. OMG, how many live in the city and can't even have a single live chicken? Yep, we talked about that too. They don't care about us. And she says, I have chickens. Everybody can get chickens. No, everybody can't get chickens. If you live in an apartment, you can't get chickens. I go back to Greenwich Senator. He told the GOP to tell lies. Keep telling the lie until you believe it yourself, and then they will believe it. I had forgotten that. Yep, I agree. That's why I had sent you that article about non. Yes, right? Yep. And thank you, because I had forgotten that. It's all about color. It is all about color. They want to put us back in the fields. They want to put the women in, because the man that he hired, who was his previous press secretary in the first administration said that the problem with our government is that it is not run by white men. You have to get the blacks and the women out of the government in order for it to run right. And that's who he has hired on his second administration. And they made the point, well, that's not true, because that most of his cabinet females are white and blonde. Most of them, because you have Nancy Mace, who's a brunette. Nessa, I am shocked that they use police to protect Teslas, but none at the schools, right? And then he's like, I haven't done anything bad. No, really. Absolutely. And the reason is because it isn't safe. Also, everyone is selling them off. No one is purchasing. So why have them at the car show? Somebody said that a gentleman went to a Toyota dealership. He wanted to buy a hybrid and trade in his Tesla. And the salesman told him that Teslas had no trade in value. And his Tesla was only 2 years old. I saw a news slip that they were shooting and putting Teslas on fire. They are. They are. And it's great joy. They're doing it over in France. And they did, I forgot what now. They did something to Trump's golf course in Scotland. Mm-hmm. Oh, history hits again. Capone was busted over taxes. IRS is going away too. Tax break. Yep. That you see, yeah, they're ugly, they're soulless. They are going to pay. I don't know if any of us are going to live long enough to see them pay, but they're going to pay. She's lucky she isn't in Missouri, because they are trying to track pregnant women now. Oh, Jesus. They wanted to do that in Texas as well. That's why I said she didn't go to Texas, because, yeah, they're trying to do that as well. See, if you don't learn the first time around, yes, it repeats itself. Because he has said on his campaign that America was its best in 1876. That was Reconstruction and Jim Crow. He's full of the brown stuff. I don't. I think she means the opposite of a green card. I hope that's what she meant, because that's what I took it as. I'm also collecting old cat litter tubs from my cat's neighbors. Those are perfect for the 5-gallon buckets. Yes, those are perfect, Pebbles. Yes, yes, they are. Those are awesome. And because my daughters, I had the big orange, the big yellow plastic ones when I had my cat, but my daughter's cat litter comes in the cardboard boxes. You're not safe. My small saving grace is that my English doesn't have a Spanish accent. You might want to carry your birth certificate or something with you. A red card is all the rights they have in English and Spanish, so that you can help if ICE comes. Girl, I saw one of those, and they tried so hard to arrest the man who kept telling the Hispanic person what his rights were, and that the passenger did not have to get out of the car. Yeah, it's yeah, it is. It's stupid. It really is. It's taking away the rights from the people who need the rights the most. It's reverse Robin Hood. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. Unless that purse is lined with 14 karat gold, there's no reason it should cost $447,000 for a friggin' purse. But you're gutting all of the services that the majority of the American people need. But apparently they didn't really care about them, because he's doing everything Kamala Harris told them he was going to do. And they kept saying, oh, no, he won't do that. Retelling of lies is cult behavior, brainwashing. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. For those who can afford it, get a Berkey water filtration system. Use DuckDuckGo for researching alternatives. Yes, try not to use Google if you can help it. Okay, a rights card. Yeah, thanks, Crystal, because I was not aware of those or what it is called. Chicken in your apartment, right? Crystal, thank you. ILRC.org, Red Cross, Tarjetas Rojas. Yeah, we're welcome there in Canada. Yeah, but are they going to? They're not going to send my Social Security to Canada. See, I wanted to move to Paris, but I was afraid they would not send my money over to Paris. And my broker said that I could not withdraw my money in a lump sum. ICE came back to an apartment saying, "We have a warrant." Remember, y'all, look for the judge's signature. I don't want to get that close to them. DC, that's interesting. I have never heard of red card. That's new to me. Thanks. Really, thanks. I had not. I took out the parts that make it a link easier for you to find the pattern. Thank you, Nessa. Well, if that's the case, they need to start with Clarence Thomas. And Byron Thomas. Is it all the Thomases that we? Oh, Uncle Tom, BJ. Byron Thomas, Clarence Thomas, Uncle Thomas. Okay. No trade-in value. Thank goodness my friend traded his in last month. He only had a few more payments to make, but he said, nope, he's done. Yeah, it's horrible. I don't understand the deportation. It hurts my heart. My family came here for a better life. We are no different. I know. His wives are immigrant, except Marla. But his first and his current wife were immigrants. Gilded age, rich big businesses and poor abused workers in the company store. Exactly. As 1876 is what he said. Yep. And the fact that they are sending them to, of all places, El Salvador. Like, why? Because it's like a concentration camp. And once he sends them down there, we're going to have a hell of a time getting them back. He didn't even send them back to their native lands. He's cruel. He's heartless. Many of these people are just innocent. And the press secretary, and when they asked the press secretary about it and said these people have committed no crimes, she says they were here. That's the crime. So you're going to send them to a concentration camp just because they came to America for a better way of life and to be able to send money home to their families who couldn't come through. Okay. Okay. I barely go out. I take my dog with me when I can. You just don't know if you get a corrupt officer. That's true. And ditches your paperwork and claims you didn't have it or that it's forged, because all of the officers that were being investigated for crimes themselves, he pardoned them and erased the database. So we don't know who was a crooked officer to start off with, because he erased the database. And somebody said yesterday the reason they are going so hard through all of the government databases is because they're trying to erase all of the suits against themselves so that we can't find what they were being investigated for. And it looks like they have a clean record because they've erased everything. Oh, that's true. But just keep your U.S. address and still move up here. Well, if I keep my U.S. address, how am I supposed to get my money if I'm living up there? My mailbox is not that big. Michelle's laughing at me. What's the deal with Clarence? Good Lord. Um, he has his nose in Donald's nether regions. The orange guy used DuckDuckGo. Does he? You spit your candy out? I'm sorry, Crystal. I'm glad you weren't drinking coffee. It just occurred to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, Uncle Tom. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. No trials for the people. They can't get out. We can't go. We can't get to them. And where's the Red Cross? And somebody said they didn't even believe in. They were pulling us out of NATO, and they didn't believe in the Geneva Convention. Clarence doesn't look in the mirror. See, and his wife is a lawyer, and she's corrupt. She was being investigated. Does anyone know whatever happened to the kids who were left behind in camps after their parents were deported? Nope. I don't know what happened to the kids in the first raid when they were down there in Texas after they built the wall. I don't know what happened to them either. For years, detention centers here in the U.S., like Chrome, they get thrown in with convicts and have less rights, no rights. They don't have the right to a phone call. The people just disappear. And that's what they called it, Nessa, disappearing people. Nessa, it's because of cruelty. Honestly, I am not very I am not very but if there is an antichrist, I believe it would be the great orange one. Seriously. Oh, you're not very religious, girl. See, yeah. It's and like we talked about last week, he has daddy issues. Some still haven't been returned to their parents. Really? Oh no. And if he wants to send the illegal immigrants away, well, his wives and Elon are not legal. They came under false pretenses and also did a little payoff to get their citizenships through. Right. But they are not brown. That's the whole point. They are not brown. The plan may be to let these kids grow up and end up in the fields. Oh, bank card, get it direct deposited. Now that's an idea. That's an idea. They have US virtual address. You have them, oh Lord, my computer's going to shut down. You have them redirect the mail to you and packages. Just got to find one that will ship to Canada. But shipping to Canada is pricey. That's true. That's true. Everybody, I so appreciate you being here. If you have any further questions about what we talked about today, please put them in the comments. I apologize, but my computer just yelled at me that it's going to shut down on me. How rude. And with this birthright thing, all of his children except Tiffany would have to go too. See, I call the little man Tate the copper-colored con man. Oh, yeah. If you are a pedophile or a pervert, you are welcomed in this country. If you are white and you can pay $5 million, you are welcome in this country. They track where you access the funds, and that could be a problem down the line. I know, and it pisses me off, BJ. Brown, white, red, green, whatever, we are all the same on the inside. Not if you're LBGTQIA plus, because we only have two sexes, male and female, because he was trying to take away the hormones from the transgendered who were in prison and put them in with their birth sex people. And the court said, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. How cruel is that? You're going to stop people's medication and their mid transition. I was digging one day. Columbia University has a Department of Human Rights. They have been tracking all of his human rights violations since his last term back then. Oh yeah, we're America's on the watch list. We are now on the watch list. That's why he got rid of the Board of Education, because he said he likes the uneducated. The Trump administration Human Rights Tracker, a project by the Columbia Human Rights Law Reviews, supported by Columbia Law Schools. Yep. I think the EU is also tracking us. Yes, you best stay out of the sun, girlfriend. It's pages and pages of crap he has done from back then, and they haven't put everything from this year. They should start when he put out that full page ad to kill those 5 young men in New York who turned out to be innocent. Oh, I forgot that too. See, we still have LBGTQ plus plus. Yeah, we don't have it here. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the book, and I'm not going to print it out. I'm not printing out 900 pages. The idiot can't understand basic biology. There's more than 2 genders, and they have proven it. They tried to explain that to one of the representatives in the town hall meeting, and she was forcibly removed from the town hall meeting. Many women who did in vitro, their eggs lost. Reach out to your local university extension programs for ideas on how to can, garden, etc. Thank you all so very, very much. I greatly appreciate it. I still have my tabs up. I'm going to put the links in the show notes. Just download it, girl. I'm afraid my computer would blow up, because that's hate speech. That really is hate speech. And I'm just disgusted. Yes, and women of color. Yeah, that's but he's safe, because there was a study, and every person who has been here over 200 years has some African American in them. But since his grandfather and his wives came over on the boat, he doesn't. But all those other oligarchs, if their family's been here over 200 years, they're mixed race, but they're not going to admit it. Everybody have a blessed day. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you all next week. Take care now. Love you all. Bye-bye. And thank you, Michelle, for coming up. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad, but we can take our country back. So homework, get your seeds, get your containers, start your gardens. Hi, Shorty. Thank you. I see you. This is Shorty, everybody. Hi, Shorty. We're ending now because my computer is about to die. I am so sorry. You can go back and watch the replay, okay? Love you all. Yes, and self-care. Yes, please, self-care. So we've got the crochet channel for self-care, and we've got this channel to take our country back. And it is working, because we've got Elon crying. It is working. We've got to be strong. We've got to turn blue. If you have friends and family is in Wisconsin, tell them to get out and vote. If you have people, if you know, and tell them to find the people in Wisconsin who didn't vote in November and get them to vote April the 1st for the female who's up for the Supreme Court justice, because the male is being backed by Elon Musk because he has a court case in Wisconsin that he is trying to get to the Supreme Court, and he wants to have a judge in the Supreme Court. We're not going like that. So talk to your friends, get them out there, get them to take somebody with them. Each one take one. We can't let them take over the courts. We've got to stop them. Love you. Bye-bye.